Summary of To Hell with the Hustle, Reclaiming Your Life in an Overworked, Overspent, and Overconnected World by Jefferson Bethke, written and narrated by Janky Mind. Introduction. Ever wondered why, despite having it all degrees, a job, and a killer Instagram profile, you feel more like a robot than a happy human? Turns out, chasing societal milestones often leads to a VIP ticket for anxiety and loneliness. Look around, and you'll see millennials drowning in loneliness, with anxiety and depression hitting both millennials and Gen Z hard. Why the struggle? Because you bought into the idea of chasing cool jobs and set impossibly high standards for yourself. No wonder you're overworking yourself into exhaustion. Blame it on the sneaky hustle culture that has you believing work defines your worth, not just a way to make a living. It's like a virus, making you sacrifice your health, relationships, and basically everything else. But here's the good news. You don't have to keep grinding away. This book isn't just about exposing the draining hustle. It's your guide to breaking free and finding real meaning beyond the grind. And guess what? Jesus has some wisdom to share on the journey. So, let's jump in and steer this ship towards a happier, more fulfilling life. Chapter 1. Unshackle yourself from the chains of hustle culture. Welcome to the Newtown religion. No pews or prayer books required. It's the church of endless efficiency, where to-do lists are sacred scrolls and productivity is the holy prophecy. But is this constant chase for optimization really the key to enlightenment, or are you just going in circles? Here's the truth. You're trapped. And it's not just any trap. It's a cleverly crafted snare by a culture that praises efficiency, productivity, and the illusion of limitless freedom. Admit it, you've scrolled through countless life hacks promising to turn you into a productivity god. You hustle and overwork, always pushing boundaries in an attempt to escape human constraints. Sounds heroic, doesn't it? Wrong. It's a destructive cycle, and you're right in the middle of it. But where did this obsession start? Cast your mind back to the Industrial Revolution, when machines redefined human achievement, steering us toward an obsession with efficiency and profit. Life became all about production and consumption, with success measured by how much more people could do, regardless of the costs. Nature, cycles, and rest, all thrown out the window in this mad rush. So what's the big deal, you ask? Well, in your relentless pursuit of doing more and breaking every limit, your life has become a chaotic, burnout-inducing mess. You're chasing a version of freedom that leaves you empty of meaning, purpose, or direction. You're doing more, but at the expense of being more human. The good news is there's hope. Real success, the kind that matters, isn't about adding more to your overflowing plate. It's about becoming more fully human and aligning yourself with an authentic image of success. The way out of this cycle is by ditching those soul-crushing, traditional goal-setting models. Instead, embrace formations, intentional, rhythmic practices that shape your identity over time. These are the game changers, habits, rituals, and daily liturgies that mold you into the person you aspire to be, not through sheer willpower, but through gradual, consistent shaping. You might be wondering, how do I start? It's simple. Audit your daily micro-rituals and check if they build you up or drag you down. Then begin integrating new practices into your life. There are 5 transformative practices to help you break free from the hustle culture for good, and the first one involves turning down the volume. Practice 1. Silence. In a world where noise is the new normal, even your favorite coffee shop, which feels like a haven, is a chaotic mix of blaring music and machinery sounds. Your hardworking brain is on overdrive, filtering out this constant noise, leaving you feeling perpetually drained. Believe it or not, this unrelenting overstimulation could be nudging you towards conditions like chronic fatigue or even schizophrenia. But hey, you're here, accepting environments that are basically sensory assaults. Think about it. Restaurants, spin classes, nightclubs, these places are almost as noisy as torture techniques. Let's dig a bit deeper. Ever wonder why silence makes you uncomfortable? Maybe it's because you crave distractions. Silence isn't just about quiet rooms. It's like a graveyard where the facades of your life rest, and your true, raw self emerges. It's confronting, like meeting yourself for the first time. But what if embracing this discomfort, diving into the silence, is exactly what you need? In that stillness, something magical happens. Your old identity starts fading away. In those quiet moments, you shed layers of false identity, getting closer to your real self and to God. It's in the hush that you might hear the divine and feel a renewal washing over you, paving the way for a truth that fills, rewires, and recalibrates you. This isn't just a makeover, it's your identity being shaped, crafted in the likeness of Christ, coming alive anew. So how do you start reclaiming silence in this noise-addicted world? Begin by seeking it out deliberately. Find a quiet minute or two in a secluded spot, and fiercely guard it from life's constant intrusions. Sure, indulging in silence might feel awkward and difficult at first. All spiritual practices do. But remember, learning these new habits takes patience and repetition. With time, you'll discover your rhythm and find yourself dancing through life with Jesus. Practice 2. Refusal. Let's chat about time. Not the tick-tock kind, but the kind that shakes your life, pushing you from morning to night. You've been racing against this relentless monster, squeezing every minute with tasks, and it's leaving you breathless. Does being constantly busy really make your life more meaningful? Now think about this non-stop lifestyle you're so proud of. It's not just tiring, it's gnawing at you. You're so caught up in constant business that you're missing out on the true essence of living. Your calendar is overflowing, leaving no room to breathe and overshadowing the genuinely valuable moments of life. It blinds you to what's genuinely important, loving and serving those around you. Here's a bold idea. Start saying no. Yes, you heard right. Make no your default response instead of mindlessly agreeing to everything. By doing so, you'll create what's called margin. That sweet spot between what you can handle and what you're currently taking on. Instead of being a slave to the clock, why not create some breathing room? Allow space for interruptions, for those unexpected moments that truly matter. It's easy for you to dream big and plan grand missions, but what about the people right next to you? Your community, your family. They're your real mission field, not some far-flung, grandiose project. And while you're at it, let go of the glorification of overcommitment. It's a trap. Even in religious circles, this hustle culture is celebrated. But let's be real. Fulfilling small, everyday acts of kindness and love might be what your faith truly calls for. Here's the bottom line. Time is the ultimate non-renewable resource. You can't buy more of it. You can't replace it. So start treating it like the gold it is. Stop squandering it on meaningless business. Rediscover the power of margin, the power of having the space to live. Remember, when you manage your time well, you're not just saving minutes. You're saving your soul. It's not just about slowing down. It's about choosing to live fully in each moment. Isn't it time you got started? Practice 3. Obscurity. Ever felt the pressure to be extraordinary, always chasing big achievements and the spotlight? Western culture cheers on ambition and productivity, telling you to live your best life and be the best you. But hold on a sec. What if the real treasure lies in a life that seems, well, a bit boring and ordinary? In your constant pursuit of epic feats, you might miss the deep richness and meaning found in a quieter, simpler life. Obscure moments, often seen as dull and full of wasted potential, are actually a hidden blessing where genuine connections with God and others can flourish. Christ himself embraced obscurity during his hidden years in time in the wilderness. He knew something crucial. The noise of public crowds can drown out God's voice. It's in those peaceful, unnoticed places where you can really tune into divine whispers. Look at other big figures in the Bible, like Moses, Abraham, and Paul. They spent years in relative obscurity before their greater callings. Moses was a shepherd for 40 years in the wilderness. Abraham left home to follow God's call to an unknown place. Paul, post-conversion, stayed in obscurity in Arabia and Syria before his missionary journeys. Their lives show that mundane routines can be incredibly fulfilling when guided by simplicity and peace. This isn't to say chasing great things is wrong. It's a reminder that life's essence isn't about being spectacular. Running after extraordinary moments can actually pull you away from the simple joys found in an ordinary life. Your role is to be faithful in small, unnoticed tasks. By embracing life's simplicity and obscurity, you'll get closer to God. And that, in its truest sense, is the real goal of living. Practice 4. Rest. Imagine being caught in a whirlwind of endless tasks and deadlines. In the midst of this non-stop hustle, there's an ancient practice that can be your sanctuary of peace and joy: the Sabbath. Picture it as your weekly escape from the clutches of constant productivity. A day to breathe freely, enjoy simple pleasures, and defy the curse of perpetual labor. It's a reminder to ground your identity not just in accomplishments, but in something far greater. This tradition isn't a modern concept. It dates back to the beginning of creation itself. Picture the entire universe freshly spun from the cosmos. And there, on the seventh day, even God paused, setting a precedent for all humanity. If you're constantly battling against time, always trying to squeeze more out of each day, consider embracing the Sabbath. But don't see it as just a day off to laze around, watch TV, and snack all day. The Sabbath is an invitation to infuse your day with the essence of divine presence and celebrate life. However, it shouldn't be dull or feel forced. Imagine the warmth and joy Christmas brings to people's hearts, with families coming together for feasting and joy. The Sabbath should feel like a mini Christmas, creating space for togetherness and tranquility. Remember, adopting this weekly holiday takes effort, similar to planning the magic of Christmas with gift shopping, wrapping, meal planning, and all the excitement. You need to carefully plan the Sabbath too. It's okay if it's not perfect at first. It's about slowly and deliberately building a tradition that weaves life-giving rhythms into your family's tapestry. Initially, you might find yourself reaching for your phone or computer, eager to return to your work desk. Breaking free from these habits requires a conscious choice to embrace a new way of being that aligns with the redemptive narrative of your life. It's a choice you need to actively seek, week after week. Practice 5. Empathy. Embarking on the journey to live like Christ involves a crucial aspect: learning to love and deeply connect with others. It's no cakewalk. It requires empathy, that magical quality that bridges gaps and brings you closer to people you might naturally clash with or not even like. Empathy, in essence, is the key to resolving conflicts and building a strong, supportive community. Take the extraordinary example of musician Terrell Davis, who managed to change the hearts of over 200 white supremacist Ku Klux Klan members. His secret? Not arguments or judgment, but shared meals and conversations, with a simple question: how can you hate me when you don't even know me? Rooted in empathy, he broke down barriers and built connections. Empathy and human connection aren't groundbreaking ideas. Settlers captured by Native Americans, upon returning to Western society, longed to go back to the indigenous cultures for their community-centric life. It was a stark contrast to the individualism prevailing in Western culture, often leaving people feeling isolated. Here's the challenge: technology and social media are chipping away at your empathetic instincts. News feeds are filled with sensational and emotionally charged content, and algorithms create echo chambers, reinforcing what you already believe. This digital landscape fuels division, creating tribes that oppose each other with vitriol rather than understanding. For Christians, the call to action is clear. Resist the urge to instantly react and instead ask questions like, "What do you mean by that?" To foster better communication, patience allows you to understand before you judge. Remember, loving your enemies, embracing interruptions, and moving at the speed of grace. This was Jesus' way. He showed that you can walk fast enough to be purposeful, but slow enough to be open to interruption and see the pain of others. But it's only when you step away from the hustle and business that you can walk at such a pace. So, slow down, listen, and engage with an open heart. This is the path to truly living as Christ did, in a world that desperately needs more empathy and understanding. Final summary. Caught up in the relentless rat race of hustle culture, you might find yourself drained of meaning and distant from others. The solution? Realign yourself with the rhythms that Christ demonstrated. It's a journey that beckons you into the beauty of silence, the strength of saying no, the tranquility of obscurity, the renewal of rest, and the profound connection of empathy. Though it may seem unexciting or too straightforward, this path holds the key to rediscovering your humanity. So take the bold step to step away from the hustle and find your true self. We have reached the end of this audiobook summary. To read the full book, check out the link in the description. Your purchase will support us to create more summaries for you. This summary was created by Janky Mind, your reliable guide to learning and growth. Please like, comment, and share your insights on the book. Thank you for watching.